established titles. Now, of course, in the last few days, you probably have seen what's been going on. I
Yeah.
know that I couldn't avoid it in the inbox. Now, of course, YouTuber Scott Schaefer uploaded a video that absolutely blew up a few days ago regarding established titles.
Hmm.
And of course, it got around 2.3 million views as of now recording.
That's pretty
Okay.
good.
Now, of course, when you look at this video, the first image is of me.
Yeah.
All right, and of course, it's not just me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to jump into this and sort of talk about this a little bit closer.
Okay.
Established Titles is a company that's been sponsoring pretty much every YouTuber available. Apparently, if you have a pulse, you get sponsored. And according to Scott's video, before I actually checked this, it used to be a list, and he's since made a video that actually catalogs every creator who's been uploading content and who's taken part in any of these sponsorships. So he's basically created a mega cut of everyone's integration. So of course you can see Ben Shapiro over here. You can see Impulsive, the Jake Paul, Logan Paul, if you will. You've got all the way down to random creators that I wouldn't have expected to even be part of this entire situation. It really seems like everyone was really covered in this entire sponsor spree. You've got
The corruption is deep.
Dr. Todd Grandy. Okay, you've got all the way up to friends of the channel, Penguin Zero, okay, on the official podcast specifically. Of course, you've also got old Professor Stick, if you will, too.
No
A lot of
idea what
people
it is, but yeah, a lot
were
of
involved into this, okay? Now, the reason I'm making this video is it's something I should have done a long time ago. Now that every bridge has really been burned too, I should have done this all the way from the start. If it's anything that I've learned in this entire situation, is no matter what, ultimately the blame falls upon me, okay? Now, I know that a lot of people have said that management companies are involved and...
Oh, okay. I thought he was talking about all of this together. Okay, he's talking about just him in general. But yeah.
In our case, that was pretty much the situation.
Yeah.
We were brought this deal forward.
Company.
We were basically reassured by the company and management and everyone involved that everything here was just a novelty gag gift. And pretty much we decided to do the go ahead with it.
I really wish, they keep bringing up this gag gift stuff. I really wish they would just say that in their sponsorship. By the way, we think this is a gag gift. If that's all they really had to say. And yes, some people will still be mad, but at least, hey, there you go. We know the reason why you're doing the sponsorship besides money. And of course, you need to pay bills, blah, blah, blah. But like, hey, I'm doing the sponsorship because I think it's a gag gift. If you do a product for Manscaped, hey, I'm doing this product for Manscaped because I actually have a hairy chest and I like to shave it. And Manscaped works well. Like, give us a reason besides just reading the script. Well, at least in my opinion, it'll keep you out of hot water.
Now, obviously, because of the recent backlash, and of course, because of the recent backlash, looking into this even further is something I should have done from the beginning. Yeah. Now, I'm doing it, and I'm doing it just to basically bring up everything out there. Because throughout all of what's happened in the last few days, this has blown up to be sort of an issue, if you will, right? You've got people saying that this is, misinformation, this whole thing is a little bit shady, and you've got the other side saying this is just a gag gift to begin with. Nobody should have taken this super duper seriously to begin with. Now, I want to jump in and just do my due.
Whenever somebody loses their money, they're usually going to be pretty upset if they find out the product isn't what was advertised. If you go to McDonald's and you see the perfect, pristine burger, and then you get the burger and it looks like crap, you're going to be at least a little upset. And at the same time, you're going to have other self-righteous people. Oh, you shouldn't have been eating McDonald's anyway. I eat Chick-fil-A or I eat vegan food. You shouldn't have been eating this shit anyway. Ha ha ha. A fool loses their money. So those people, I don't really take their criticism seriously because they're going to be anyone that is just super morally, you should have took it this way. Oh, why didn't you just think that it was wrong in the first place? I'm so smart. You're so dumb. I just don't even listen to their opinions. It's almost as bad as the people that take it to the extreme where it's like, oh, you stole my money, Mutahar. You shouldn't have advertised this to begin with. Oh, why did you just take the money? You're greedy. Those people and the people that are saying, oh, it was a gag gift, you shouldn't have took it seriously in the first place. Those are the same people in my eyes. Both of their comments just get blacklisted. They don't show up. They're pointless. They don't matter. But let's continue.
Due diligence like I should have done in the beginning. So, of course,
shoulda, coulda, woulda, didn't, but now you're doing it now and you're making a video educating everybody, including me, because I didn't go do a deep dive into established titles because I personally don't care. I just think it's interesting. A lot of people did it. It reminds me of that video of multiple different news organizations saying the exact same script. I don't remember what it was about, but they were all saying the exact same thing. All of them. And it was several different news organizations. I'm talking about like 30 different news companies and organizations all reading the same script. It makes it look like there's a big Illuminati pyramid scheme, whatever. Right. And that might be true to the case of that. But I'm just saying that's what it looks like when you see a whole video, an hour long, of 50 different YouTubers saying the same script. It looks like just, oh, they don't care. They're just trying to make money, but let's go ahead and get into it.
Framework for this video is going to be this letter right here. Now, this is something that Established Titles has sent out to management and a few creators that they were partnered with. You might have seen this email already. So we're going to be looking through this, reading it, and sort of gauging all of this for ourselves. And hopefully throughout all of this, we'll learn about novelty land buying, the laws around it, so on and so forth.
Okay.
So, you know what? Let's sit down, relax, and go through a deep dive, if you will.
Okay.
Now, this letter, dated 24th November 2022, we have recently come under a targeted, completely unfounded attack based on bogus claims from someone making a career out of personal attacks in an attempt to gain viewership.
Wow, that's pretty bold. All right, let's get into it.
We deeply appreciate those creators who have come out in support for us and people who have voiced their refusal to participate in this cruel and vicious attempt to cancel and slander us. Now, I'm going to say from a professional response, maybe just eschew
I wouldn't have said that, but hey.
the whole first paragraph. I think, honestly, people investigating, it's going to happen all the time. Now, this type of novelty land selling, like selling a square foot of land, has been happening for a long time with various other, companies out there. Hell, people have bought stars in the sky, so
just because other people do it doesn't make it right,
to speak too. But we'll get to all that in a second. We are also deeply shocked that he would encourage an attack on other creators based on warping information that has already been openly shared and available from the very beginning.
So I wouldn't have done that with Scott Schaefer. I definitely wouldn't have encouraged the viewers to go after the creators. That's 100% just unprofessional, because even though I don't know you, I don't know Muta, I don't know Tamimi, even though I might dislike moments in the video, I still don't say, hey, you should go out and tell them that they're terrible people and they should take their videos down. No. That's just wrong. You don't do that. It's the same reason why you don't do false copyright strikes or false flag a video. It's just wrong, and we all know as creators that we shouldn't do that type of stuff. But my back's hurting, by the way, so I might just stand up.
We ask that creators stand by what they believe and assess the claims for themselves. Now, for full context sake, I actually did message Scott Schaefer after we investigated this, watched this video, and I told him basically my side of the story, and Scott was a totally nice guy to me, all right? He was a nice guy in the DMs, and, it really didn't seem like the whole video even had bad blood towards me or anybody.
At the end of the day, Scott saw something he thought was wrong, so he addressed it. Now, if it's true, he told his people to go after the creators that made the video, that's totally just wrong, and I'm against that. Regardless if he's nice to you in the DMs or whatever, I think that's wrong. Same type of energy I would give to Casey Neistat when he said, I'm voting for Hillary Clinton, and you should go make all the other YouTubers voice their political opinions. And if they don't, you should just get very upset at them until they say who they're voting for. That's wrong, too. And I'm a big fan of Casey Neistat. He's a creative genius, but at the same time, right is right and wrong is wrong.
So I'm not going to hold it against Scott. It doesn't really matter. It is what it is. These kind of things tend to happen. Obviously, I expect to see my face in this scenario in some capacity. No matter who posts it, I get it. It's part of the YouTube game. It works in the algorithm. I understand it. I've done it in the past. I'm not going to shit on anybody for doing that as well, too.
Respectable.
Established Titles is a fun gift meant for the good laugh, and we've been absolutely transparent about this from day one. To compare us to going into someone's house and stealing is deeply offensive, and not only undermines our own work, but the good work of the charities and the creators who we have worked with.
If that's the case, why isn't that in the script that you give to your creators? I don't remember I've seen a couple videos where Established Titles was sponsored, but I don't remember them saying, hey, this is a gag gift, you're not really getting land, but we do really plant trees. I don't remember hearing that shit. I'm just saying. Regardless if you put it in the description and background on your website, it doesn't matter because it's not being advertised. I don't know because you're not telling me in the advertisement.
In the past 2 years, we have done more tangible work in the preservation of the woodlands in Scotland than anyone else to our knowledge. This includes donating to plants over 2 million trees and acquiring over hundreds of acres of land and
I need some proof.
Actually committing it to preserve in its natural state.
If they have
This
some
year,
proof,
we are
I'll believe
slated
it.
to be Trees for the Future's Giving Tuesday partner, matching all donations up to $50,000. It is a shame that this attempt to cancel us will make these efforts in the future that much harder. So again, I wanted to look at what they were talking about by being very open about it since the beginning. So let's actually look through their website.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, on Established Titles' website over here, they've got title packs. Purchase a personal lordship or ladyship title pack with a dedicated land in Scotland. Of course, they've got a big ass asterisk right here. The asterisk says, this is a purchase for a personal dedication for a souvenir plot of land. You may choose to title yourself with the title of Lord, Laird, or Lady. Our title packs are based on the historic Scottish land ownership custom, where landowners have been long referred to as lairds, the Scottish term for lord, with the female equivalent being lady, okay? Every ladyship or lordship title pack contributes to the preservation and protection of woodland areas, as is the intention for the land to be kept in its natural state. We ask that all interested parties do bear this in mind. So obviously, the point of it was for them to preserve the actual woodland areas of Scotland, and also to be part of replanting trees all around, not just in Scotland, but all over the world. Now, there's two groups that they work with. One of them is One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future. Now, Trees for the Future, as far as we've all been able to see, is pretty legitimate, okay? Now, I've checked this charity, and this is one of the things that we looked into before we even decided to run with the sponsorship. We looked at Trees for the Future.
That's good.
They've been around since 1989.
What about the other one?
They're completely set incorporated. 2.06 million September 3rd, 2021. Last year, they said over 565,630. The reason I did the Wayback Machine was to just see a pattern of progression.
Yeah,
now, obviously,
100%.
Trees for the Future is very legit.
Yeah,
I don't think that they would lie about the numbers planted. The reason why these numbers increase just year after year, from what I understand, is the company has to make like a payment, like an actual payment once per year, like a full lump sum payment, and that gets into actually planting these trees. Now, of course, we got that out of the way cleared. I think one of the biggest sort of gripes with a lot of this has been the idea of this title pack allowing you to call yourself as a lord, laird, or lady, okay? So basically, this is a purchase for a dedication to a souvenir plot of land. You may choose to...
I thought it was more people were just upset over the land stuff, like the legality of it. I don't know about the whole calling yourself a lord or lady. I think you could just do that without buying a piece of land, but...
Title yourself. So again, if you look through their actual testimonials, it's wild because, like, you look at some things where, like, for instance, since the purchase of my 2 lots for my wife and myself, I've noticed a difference in the service and the level of etiquette showed towards us. That's cool. One of the images is, like, one with a passport. Now, obviously, the notion where some people believed by a lot of the YouTubers' integrations or how this was presented was that by having this title, you could legally attach this to important documents like your passports, your credit cards, your driver's licenses, so to speak. Now, based on the information we were provided in like any briefing, that was never the case. This was just novelty stuff. A lot of these are novelty titles, if you will, too. And of course, I think it's wild to show a passport. Obviously, this is a passport that I have, a Canadian passport, and if I flip through it, I'm not going to show it on camera,
yeah,
obviously.
Where have you been? No, show us where you've been.
You can see that it has like an issuing country, surname, username, and of course, nowhere does it even have Mr., Mrs., or any form of like, title attached to it.
Yours doesn't say Mr. Where's my motherfucking... found the passport. It was in my motorcycle jacket. I almost had an existential crisis, man, because I don't live in the States right now. So if I lost my passport, gotta go to the embassy, gotta fill out paperwork. Anyways, let me read this. Yeah, I don't think male counts as Mr. or Mrs. whatever. All right, for you guys, I'm gonna edit that out, whatever. But yeah, it doesn't say Mr. or Mrs. on your passport. Also, this is American passport, Muta. Hopefully you get one, because I know you need to leave Canada because of your whole laws or whatever fucking you guys over. So yeah, or maybe you'll go somewhere else. But I think America is probably easier to get your passport. You gotta become a citizen, which is simple. You gotta get married, have a kid or something like that. But yeah,
customers don't understand that they're purchasing official legal titles, which they showcase what we just read. Of course, they also showed the briefings that they send out to creators when they're making their integrations. Now, when creators make integrations, like 1 minute pre-roll or a mid-roll ad, they have to make it, send it to the actual company so that they can vet it and approve it. The reason why any company does that is, like, for instance, if I just tell you, hey guys, G Fuel, by the way, did you guys know that G Fuel is going to get you laid? Obviously, that is a false, misleading statement to make.
Yep.
G Fuel would never approve me saying that, all right? No way is Sonic Peach Rings going to get you laid. Using code SOG is not going to get you laid.
100% not Sonic, man. If you're a Sonic fan, you're a virgin.
If anything, this shit's going to keep you awake at night like it does for me, okay? That's pretty much how it works. So yeah, that's pretty much why you have to send in these integrations so that they can be vetted beforehand. So really, any statement a YouTuber makes, I would say almost 100% of the time has been vetted by the company involved, okay? So they looked at the integration, they said, yep, we're cool with that, put it in the video, call it a day. It's why we have to wait for like a couple of these videos to be like available. Like we have to wait for the sponsor to say yes before the video can even go live to begin with.
Yep.
Now, of course, looking into this entire situation, what's rather important for me is using the Wayback Machine to sort of see if any of this stuff changed beforehand. So for instance, this statement right up here, where they actually mention the souvenir plot of land, right here. If I go into the Wayback Machine, what am I going to see? Now, going all the way back as early as I could to April 24th, 2020, if we go around over here, yes, since the beginning, they have been saying this is a purchase for a personal dedication for a souvenir plot of land. You may choose to title yourself with the title of Lord, Laird, or Lady, okay? So that's April 24th, 2020, as per the Wayback Machine, okay? Now, of course, even looking further into it, all the way back in May 6, 2020, they even showed where the land was actually located on Google Maps.
That's dope.
So you can basically take this link, throw it into Google Maps, and effectively you'll be finding out that it is this part of the land that you can actually see what they apparently claim to own. Now, of course, this land over here is purchased for natural, preservation, if you will, too. So if we take a little street view guy and drop it onto the road, you can see that the land actually looks somewhere like this.
I don't own shit.
Very beautiful indeed. Scotland is a beautiful country, and of course you can see right over here.
Oh, yeah. Scotland is a beautiful country. Scots, subscribe
to the land they claim to own, okay? As per their website. Now, what's rather also interesting in this situation, where we have to look into this even further, is their blog, okay? So this is where things get a little hazy. Now, if you look into their blog, obviously it's designed to gain SEO, search engine optimization, and of course, in some cases, you can see, for instance, March 2nd, 2021. So, becoming a Scottish lord, the real deal. So let's actually read that, okay? The real deal, let's go. So, as our blog name suggests, with established titles, you can become a Scottish lord, lady, or laird. How is this the real deal? Purchasing is incredibly simple. Simply visit our website, enter the details of the recipient, select whether you'd like a digital, printed, or framed certificate, and then check out. Your plot of land is legitimate. You'll receive a unique plot number that reflects your plot of land in Scotland. You were even able to see the land on a map or even visit it should you be so inclined, okay? So again, this is where, like, when you're advertising things, the wording gets a little bit wild. So your land is legitimate. You'll receive a unique plot number. Now, carefully, they're also not saying that you own that plot of land. You could visit it. You can even see it on a map. Yes, you can use your title in daily life. Your new title can be reflected on many documents such as credit cards, plane tickets, hotel bookings, and more. Now again, I may have to question some of this. Obviously, when I looked at my passport and driver's license earlier, those are government documents. Depending on where you live and what the jurisdiction is, you may never even be allowed to change that or add all these titles to it. With things like credit cards, I actually had to look on the internet, and again, this is where we're getting into like fully anecdotal evidence, okay? I literally went to Reddit of all places to find out if people were even trying this. So for instance, in r/AusLegal, Australia obviously, of course, my wife surprised me last night with a birthday present. I don't want any more birthdays, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, I'm now the proud owner of a 2 square foot of land in Scotland. My friend bought this and somehow convinced his bank and university to give him the title.
Well, I mean, that's not the hard part, really. Like, you can convince anybody to do anything. It just, will they change it back whenever they realize that they made a oopsie? Or will they just keep it?
Not sure about his driver's license, but his degree has Lord on it. Not sure about other states, but driver's license in WA can't have titles. So of course, yeah, it might depend on what your bank and university have to do with it. Maybe you might be able to add it to a credit card. In some cases, your driver's licenses aren't giving that away, okay? Now, I've also read other things where, like, r/Calgary, adding Lord title to passport or driver's license First of all, titles like Lord are not valid in Canada. Again, this is like a 6-year-old post, by the way, too.
Okay.
When I became King of Canada, I just wrote it in my passport myself. I don't know how many times these honorifics are actually added. I don't know how many times somebody has went to Service Ontario to do this themselves. But yeah, it would be an interesting case to see somebody buying these titles and trying to actually apply it in the US, Canada, or any other country for a serious government passport or serious government document.
So it sounds like it's cool, it's legitimate, but does anybody else honor this title that have any type of meaningful service, like a passport or a driver's license? Can you put that on there? Maybe, maybe not, but you're still technically a lord. You just can't put it on anything. Okay.
So again, going back to their website, obviously for plane tickets, hotel bookings, you may even have to question with which airlines you might be able to do this, under what travel restrictions, like depending on which country and how they handle travel in and out. It's a whole set of things to go into. And of course, finally, we plant a tree for every order. I'm not really going to question this because the companies involved, the nonprofits involved, the charities involved, are actually willing to put their name on the line. So unless we're calling the charities liars, that's a whole different story. Now, of course, going in further,
But what about the other one?
obviously, the way that this blog is written, again, I wonder if they had absolutely written it as completely, like, as transparent as possible. Like, hey, listen, this is just a joke document. This is a gag gift. Obviously, you are not really a lord or a lady. This is about as legitimate as anybody watching this video. If you watch this video, you can now claim to call yourself Lord of the Muda Crack House, okay?
But the difference is, I didn't pay to become a lord of the Muda Crack House. I just watched the video and became it. The other one is I spent money and now I have the title lord, but I can't use it for anything. The issue is the spending of money, or is it just signing up? I don't know. I didn't look into it. If it's just signing up, that's not so bad. If you just sign up for it, okay, sure. But if you spent money, which it said, you know, credit card, whatever, purchase below, that's different.
Put that in the comment section below. You are now the lord or lady of the Muda Crack then, all right? That's pretty much how things go. So, of course, looking further into their entire thing, one of them is titled, "You Won't Believe This Legal Loophole in Scotland." Okay. Historically, there are only a handful of ways one can become a lord or a lady. You can be born into it, marry into it, or be appointed to the House of Lords in the UK by the Prime Minister and the Queen.
Good luck with
Both
that.
options are obviously out of reach for most. However, there is a small legal loophole in Scotland that makes it possible for anyone to title themselves as a lord or a lady. This all fascinatingly hinges on the historic Scottish custom of referring to landowners as laird, which happens to be the Scots for lord. With the female equivalent being lady, all you need is at least 1 square foot of land in Scotland itself. Though of course there are no restrictions on having more land. These small plots of lands are referred to as souvenir plots, which have a long history in Scotland themselves. Through this loophole, anyone can buy a small plot of land in Scotland and refer to themselves as lord or lady. So at this point, I decided to look into the legalities around souvenir plots, okay?
Yeah.
So per a series on Scots law, okay? Souvenir titles or souvenir plots are a commonly sold online good or physical gift set whereby a seller will advertise ownership of the small plot of land in Scotland.
You know what's crazy about this whole thing, right? This is all because he didn't do this earlier. This is why him and a lot of other YouTubers are in hot water, because they didn't look into it. But if you look at this video, this is a 36-minute video. How long did it take him to actually do the due diligence for this shit? Probably took him hours, right? If not, maybe a day. It took him all that time, right? When really he just got sent the contract, looked at it. He did look at the other company, and he was like, okay, this company is good, so it must be good. But all this work, right? Dude, this is crazy. I see why he just decided to say, man, fuck it. Yeah, let's run the ad.
Of course,
This shit
however, the
took
purchase is of
forever.
no legal effect, and many commentators of the legal practice consider it to be a scam. So let's go down over here real quick, okay? Let's actually read it. So
Damn.
again, right of ownership. The souvenir plot will advertise the purchase of ownership of a small plot of land as part of an estate. However, Scots property law only recognizes a defined number of real rights or rights in rem, which follow the legal principles shared with other jurisdictions. Okay, so again, I know it's a little boring and like wordy, but let's go down into here.
It is.
Transferring the right of ownership in Scots law. There are 3 stages to creating a right of ownership in land. Number 1, the contract and the missus of sales. For the contract to be formally valid, it must meet the requirements of Writing Act 1995.
Okay.
Number 2, the
what is the Writing Act of 1995?
conveyance.
What is the Bite of 87?
For the conveyance to be formally valid, the deed, known as a disposition, must meet the requirements of writing.
Okay.
And number 3, registration in the Land Register of Scotland. This must be registered validly in accordance with the Land Registration Scotland Act 2012.
Okay.
So again, registration of souvenir plots. Even if a seller of souvenir plots does validly create a contract of sale for the plot of land and provide the buyer with a valid disposition, the registration of the disposition deed is not possible under the Land Registration Act 2012. So again, right over here, Land Registration Act 2012, Section 22.
So it don't matter.
Subsection 1b, souvenir plot means a plot of land which is of inconsiderable size, 1 square foot, and of no practical utility, and is neither a registered plot, nor a plot the ownership of which has any time separately been constituted or transferred by a document recorded in the Register of Sassons. So from what I've understood, it's kind of like real life real estate. If you want to buy a real house, a real piece of property, there's a lot of paperwork involved, lawyers got to be involved, there's a lot of tax you got to pay, there's a lot of documentation you got.
So basically it doesn't mean anything, right? But what's the whole point of having this company? Did they already buy the land and then they're just doing the sponsorship to try and make money back from buying the land for preservation? Is that the case? And they were like, well, we need a reason for people to want to buy or lease this land or purchase whatever, right? Souvenir purchase this land that we already purchased. Let's call them Lord, Ladies, Lairds because it is in Scotland, right? So it gives people some type of reason to purchase this. That's what it sounds like. They already bought the land and now they're getting people to pay for the land as a gift for someone else. They're not really owning the land because they technically can't. But let's say they can. So technically, yeah, you own the land, right? But it's not validated. It's like when you buy a Steam key from some shady website. You bought the Steam key, but you can't validate it through Steam because it was purchased from some shady website. That's what it sounds like.
You got assigned to officially have it registered in the country itself. When you buy a house, before you get the deed, there's a lot of actual signatures you yourself do with a lot of lawyers present, a lot of brokers present, and an official documentation signed for that plot of land to the actual government, going to you, the person, or whatever like entity is purchasing the land, right? So I looked into the entire situation and I found the actual Scotland Heraldic Authority, okay? So I found one of them, all right, which is the Court of the Lord Leon, all right? Okay. Now, of course, when I look into the actual court itself, over here, you have to actually apply for coat of arms, okay? So, for instance, who can have a coat of arms? Anyone resident in Scotland or who owns a house or land in Scotland may apply to the Lord Leon Kings of Arms, or a Scottish coat of arms. If you are not a resident in Scotland and do not own any property there, you may be able to apply for arms to be granted in the name of an ancestor who lived in Scotland, okay? So again, if you want to get royalty or any heraldic authority, then these are the people that you go through it, okay? The court of the actual Lord Leon. Now, I have located my coat of the arms on the internet, okay? So for instance, there are many websites which supply information about coat of arms which are said to apply to particular names. Unfortunately, most of this information is completely inauthentic. In many cases, what is supplied is the design of the arms belonging to the chief of the clan. Only the individual chief himself can use these arms and is completely incorrect. Now, according to another website,
So would the chief be established titles themselves? And we're just in the clan of established titles? If you purchase this, you're in the clan. But the only one that really has ownership would be like the CEO of established titles. That would make sense.
Other group involved in things like title selling, Highland Titles, they actually literally reference and gave out a letter from one of our customers. Leon, actually Lord Leon, has no official governance on the sale of land or the adoption of the style of laird by the new owner, okay? So in this letter, you can...
So like the court is saying, hey, this is what you got to do if you want to own it. And at the same time, we are in charge of authentication, but we don't really run the government utilities to say, hey, you got it. You have the ownership.
literally read right here. Thank you for your letter of 28th May enclosing your earlier letter of 25th April. I'm afraid we have no record of receiving your letter. You are right in thinking I am not infrequently asked to recognize a territorial designation in connection with a grant or matriculation of arms. I enclose with this letter general guidance on the matter posted on the Court of the Lord Leon website. I have no official remit or governance over the sale of souvenir plots of land. You instance 1 square foot or the adoption of the style of laird by your new owner. However, I would not recognize such a purchase as being adequate to establish jurisdiction so far as a grant of arms is concerned, nor would I recognize the style of laird in these circumstances.
He said, you ain't got enough land, peasant, move on.
So obviously there is no official jurisdiction. Even the court over here doesn't look at it. And I assume they get so many requests that they just groan constantly because of it. Obviously, these are gag gifts. Again, I'm going into it. And the reason why I went this hard into the research is because I wanted to really look into what the authority was and what it takes to become an official, I guess you could say, lord or lady, or like have the most official possible title. Yep. And it seems like there's a lot more, obviously, than just buying, a package on the internet. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Now,
I mean, I'm still thinking established titles already bought it, and they're trying to get some type of money. Whether the money is good or bad, whatever, they spent money for the land to protect the earth or the trees or the nature or whatnot. They still need to get the money back because money makes the world go round. They probably have to constantly pay a yearly fee to Scotland or whoever to actually keep the plot of land or whatever. Government is always trying to take the land back. That's why they offer farmers hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars to take their land from them, so they can put whatever they want from it. Or private companies do the same thing, not just the government. But it makes sense that, you can call it a gag gift if you want to, but when people lose their money and they think they have something that they don't, they're going to be outraged, regardless of the facts, regardless of, oh, they should have did this, shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? But whenever people lose their money and they don't get what they think they should get, they're going to get upset. Whether it's right or wrong, they're going to get upset.
Say, given what I've read on these blogs and everything, I think the way the wording is written and the way that this has been showcased can definitely lead somebody into having some misconceptions about the entire deal.
Exactly.
I feel like if they had just outright basically said, hey, this is they pretty much told you it's a novelty gift, but they should also pretty much tell you that these titles, like pretty much any title on the internet, has no real validity in calling yourself or gaining any coat of arms or any official prestige in an actual court in Scotland.
Yes. That's exactly what they should have did. And that's exactly what the YouTubers should have said. Even if established titles didn't want to say it themselves, they should have put it in the script. Like at the end of every advertisement ever in the early 2000s, or even now, I don't know, I don't watch advertisements now, but on commercials, oh, this pill will keep you from feeling depressed. And then they have that long narration at the end. Side effects may include rectal dysfunction, suicidal thoughts, suicidal tendency. You used to see a doctor before you tried it. Try it today. They do that for a reason. And advertisements should also, on YouTube, should also do that. Yeah, it might suck. It might keep people from purchasing the shit. But that's what you should do to avoid situations like this. And at the end of the day, it's just internet outrage, right? Scott Schaefer got 2.8 million views. He made a couple hundred, 200, I don't know, like probably half a mil. No, I don't know. He made a lot of money off that video, right? And while making that money, a lot of other YouTubers got fucked over, right? It is what it is. It's the game, baby. All that was because established titles did not have that narration at the end that lets you know, hey, you can call yourself lord or lady, but it doesn't really mean anything. This is for a greater, this is for land. This is for us to preserve land, right? And give it to the YouTubers, put it in the script. Hey, you get this land, technically, you're in our court of arms, but at the same time, you're not really recognized as anything. You just get the gag of it. You get the joke of, hey, technically, sorta, kinda, not really, legally, no, you're not a lord or lady. You can't put this on official documents. You could probably put it on your plane ticket, but it's not official and it's not looked at substantially from any government organization, period. Yeah, it fucking sucks to have that on there, but it keeps you out of hot water. And yeah, you might lose sales because people, the dumb people, aren't going to get their Lord title, so they're not going to spend their money. The dumb people aren't going to spend their money, and now it's going to be harder to keep this land secure. At the end of the day, it still sounds, because this shit had to be vetted, right? As a company that's publicly advertising through multiple different channels and content creators, they had to have some type of internal counsel that said, hey, maybe some people aren't gonna like this, or some people are gonna try and actually get their Lord titles on their passport and it's not gonna work. And then the head of the clan, technically all the Scottish shit, the head clan leader, the CEO, said, it's fine. They'll get over it. Which they will. After about 2, 3, 4, 5 months of this, eventually people will forget and move on, because that's just how internet drama works. A lot of people get upset, and some people will remember. I will remember. Asmongold will remember. Mutahar will remember. Everybody got fucked over will remember. Scott Schaefer will remember. But a lot of the viewers that just see this as, oh man, I'm just mad because internet. They'll forget eventually. They forgot about BetterHelp. There's a reason why BetterHelp is still around doing advertisements for other YouTubers. A lot of big YouTubers didn't even apologize for it because they didn't care. Abba and Preach hasn't made any public address of the situation at all. They don't care. They looked at it as a quick buck. It is what it is. People will get mad. They deal with so much drama that they probably looked at this and was like, fuck it, who cares, right? It is what it is, baby. You gotta make the money. You gotta play the game. It just is what it is. But let's continue, Muda.
Okay, so again, all the funding for established titles has come from Galton Voicey Limited, which has been mainly funded by William Wolfram. Without this funding, we would never have been able to acquire our initial plots of land in Scotland or invest in bold marketing efforts as we have, basically investing in YouTubers. This has led to hundreds of acres of land being conserved and millions of trees planted, not to mention the thousands of smiles on people's faces as they gift it, okay? So again, what's important here is Galton Voicey Limited. Now, when we saw Scott's video, Galton Voicey was a pretty integral part of it. Now, Galton Voicey, from what I understand, is an e-commerce giant. And of course, if you look at Galton Voicey, one of the images, one of the places I found was the Galton's Gift Guide. Every year we put a gift guide out. Some suggestions are from our own independent family of brands and some from other businesses. We're an equal opportunity employer and a proud member of the Galton Voicey family of companies. Now, if you look at the 5 perfect gifts for 2021, one of them is Kamikoto Knives, okay? Now, Kamikoto Knives, if you actually look into the company over here, this is a company that apparently seems to be headquartered in Japan, like as they've written right over here in Tokyo. But of course, what was really questionable for a lot of people looking into it was that Galton Voicey, if you look at their USPTO trademarks and you scroll around a bit into it, they actually own a few trademarks, one of them being established title. But then, of course, if you dig even further into just Kamikoto, you'll find out that through an open corporate's listing, they actually do appear to have some involvement in the registration of the Kamikoto trademark. Now, if you actually go to the USPTO trademark, you can see that Kamikoto, all right, the company in this case, if you look at all their information, for instance, they're involved in, let me see, the steel knives and whetstones. Obviously, they're making like cutlery. If you look at it, they're a Japanese company, but if you look at their actual assignment abstract of title information, their registrant is Galton Voicey Limited, okay? So clearly it seems like the company is owned or at least has a severe involvement with Galton Voicey. And of course, the further we look into it, established titles, which is also involved, again, with Galton Voicey, okay? So if you actually look at it right now, their current owner information is Galton Voicey. And even if you look at Sterling Pacific's website, just scrolling through it, they'll straight up tell you the company was acquired by the brand developer Galton Voicey, okay? So Galton Voicey has a few brands under their wing, okay? It's not just established title. It seems like Sterling Pacific is involved and Kamikoto seems like to be part of it. I couldn't confirm if Historic Mail was part of it too, which is a service where they literally send you letters every week from like historical figures, like George Washington, for instance, and FDR. kind of wild.
That
But of
sounds
course,
cool
this
as
is just
shit.
some of the stuff that you can see. All right. So obviously, this was brought into it, and this is where this is where like one of the established titles sort of like front runners. So for a lot of people wondering where they got the money from to buy the land in the first place and to sponsor
Galton
YouTubers with
Voicey.
these massive deals, it was from a big company known as Galton Voicey, which owns a bunch of other brands, it seems.
And they definitely need to recoup on that investment.
Galton Voicey is
Established titles might be a nonprofit, whatever, you know, organization, plant the trees. But Galton Voicey, that's a fucking conglomerate, okay? They need to recoup that investment.
supported us since day one, even though they knew that their initial funding would be a total financial loss, okay, would lead to financial loss.
So maybe they don't need to recoup on that investment. So what the hell is going on?
This year alone, they made a multi-million-dollar loss on an established title. Obviously, they're sponsoring
So
YouTubers.
why'd they do it?
They've
For the greater good? A big, giant conglomerate company working for the greater good? I honestly don't see it. But let's
continue to give their full support as they strongly believe that established titles will not only grow to become a terrific business in the long run, but also a great example of how you can do well by doing good. Now, of course, to look at it as they're planting trees and selling these titles, if you will, these novelty gag gifts, I kind of have to wonder how great of a business it is when they're committed to making multi-million-dollar losses to begin with. Okay,
Exactly.
It's just I don't know. I don't get the business model.
It
I'm
ain't
sure they
making
could explain
sense.
it better.
It ain't making sense, man. It's looking like Twitter with Elon Musk. It ain't making sense, bruh.
We are extremely proud of the work that the teams at Galton Voicey, Trifecta Retail Ventures, and Fail Ventures, which is another trademark of Galton Voicey, have done across over 70 businesses around the world. In fact, Fail Ventures, about us, in 2008, we have created 78 new ventures from scratch. 72 have failed, and six have succeeded. Okay, so again,
the numbers ain't looking too good at all.
they're all about normalizing failure. Okay, it happens, I guess, in the world of business.
Well, yeah, that is true. Like a lot of what was it like 60% of companies like failed or something last year, or 30% or something. I don't know. Like even 30%. If 3 million people start a company and 30% fail, that's still a lot of fucking fails. You know what I'm saying? It does impact the economy whenever a big company or small companies fail. That makes more room for big companies. Big companies control everything. It's not good for everybody. So it's good for when the little guy does win. Um, but yeah, let's
So again, I want to thank William, where many entrepreneurs would sit back on a beach drinking Mai Tais. He had reinvested virtually all the money that's been made into funding new ventures. Okay, cool. I am American and moved to Hong Kong as a child from Paris with my family before moving to the UK as a young adult. I moved back to Hong Kong as many
don't care.
Obviously, what is referenced to is Scott Schaefer looking into Galton Voicey. And Galton Voicey is a Hong Kong-based business, which
all I see is China taking over, and then they control the Galton Voicey conglomerate. I mean, that's wild. Whatever. I'm just saying, Hong Kong and China, they ain't too friendly right now.
I believe falls under like mainland China at this point. I don't think.
Damn near. Damn near.
Let me actually fact check that.
Yeah, 100%. But damn near, man. Damn near.
Special administrative region of the People's Republic of China. Is it part of? Yeah, it's a sovereign state is in China, so it is technically a Chinese company. It's not. Again, Hong Kong is like administratively different, but as of now, it's not like a British,
British protector.
venture. It's now part of China.
It's
With respect to other claims, there's been absolutely nothing new brought to light. We brought a couple hundreds of acres of land in Scotland, have pledged to protect it and keep it as forever, and plant a tree with every order we get. Okay. So, of course, one of them was actually here. We have always been clear that our certificates are based on the historic Scottish custom of calling landowners lairds, lords, and ladies, and that it does not grant you the right to rule or make you a member of any royal family, nor the right to a peerage.
So why isn't this on the front of the website? This would be so simple. Yeah, you'll lose sales or whatever, but apparently you're fine with losing multi-millions of dollars. What's another multi-million-dollar loss? Apparently you're fine with normalizing failures. Just put this on the front of the page. Put it underneath the asterisk that you already did. Like you said, oh, you could do this, and that, asterisk, have another sentence, and then where the asterisk finishes, this is why this is this. Like it's minorly deceptive, right? And I understand why. You're still trying to make a sale, even though you're fine with normalizing losses and losing millions, multi-millions of dollars. I understand it. I understand it. But at the same time, man, you can't be half truthing and half false and shit. You can't be, oh, I'll show you this and I'll show you what's in these three fingers, but I'm gonna hold these two closed so you don't know what's in them. Like, come on, bro. Just be 100%, either be 100% transparent or be 50% shady. Like, what is with this 80% transparent shit? I don't get it. It makes it harder than 50%. Okay, 50% shady, it's easier to find than the 20%. That's probably why it's harder. It's harder to find the 20%. Damn, that's crazy.
Okay. I guess with some of the blog postings that we saw earlier in the video, it's a bit questionable. Maybe the wording should have been done a little bit better. All right. Otherwise,
Yes.
you know, at the end of the day, I guess they were always saying that it was uh, novelty land to begin with.
Yes. Novelty land. But saying, hey, this is a novelty land ownership, and then saying, hey, this doesn't give you the authority to do anything. Those are two different things to the smooth brain individuals. If I say this is novelty land here, I don't know what the fuck novelty means, but thank you for the land. If I say here's a certificate, it doesn't really give you anything and you don't really own the land. Here, they're going to say, okay, so what is, I don't understand. Why even give me this? You see what I'm saying? For people that can dive deep in the shit, they can, yeah, understand the whole novelty gag gift shit. But if it's not blatantly stated that it doesn't give you any value whatsoever, you can't do anything with it, but you are protecting nature with this purchase, that is easier to understand. And a lot of this shit wouldn't happen.
We've always hoped that our customers enjoy the experience, and if for whatever reason, we've always honored refund and cancellation requests fully, okay? We also
That's good.
appreciate we received from both our customers and you, our creators. We hope that you will have the strength to stand by and not join in with the mob. However, we understand this is no easy task, and we will not hold it against you if you prefer to sit this one out. If you want to cancel any existing bookings or future contracts with us, we will accept all cancellations without question, but with great regret. So they're literally allowing any creator to completely cancel their obligations with established titles, which I think is about the only thing that they could have done instead of pressing this even further. Now, if you look at the About Us section, all right, with the actual person behind this, the pet project over here, who the person here is Katrina Yip, or Cat Yip. Of course, you can see these three paragraphs when you Wayback Machine all the way back to October 8th, 2020. These are the only three paragraphs to exist, right? What they've added is they've said that Established Titles is proud to be a member of the Galton Voicey Tree Planting Initiative. And of course, they've also added Established Titles as a fun gift, meant for a good laugh and not to be taken too seriously. With the help of a few friends, I bought a few hundred acres of land in Scotland, pledged to protect it, so on and so forth. Now, one of the reasons why I should have absolutely...
And then that's the issue, bro. Like, yeah, it's not to be taken too seriously. It's a good laugh. And then we bought a few hundred acres of land in Scotland, have pledged to protect it, and kept it forever and plant a tree or every order. Okay, there we go. There we go. Fuck, there we go. Okay, see, man, Moody, you got to read the whole thing for me, brother.
Acres of land in Scotland, pledged to protect it, so on and so forth.
Thing. Okay.
Now, one of the reasons why I should have absolutely looked into this earlier is that this isn't the first time that companies like this have been given criticism. So another company known as Highland Titles made a post in 2015 where they had a response to criticism, okay, where they were claimed to be a scam apparently, and they were basically giving a bunch of reasons why, okay, like would a scam operation succeed in obtaining advice from Scottish solicitors that confirm the legality of our business model, and so on and so forth, okay, would a scam operation have a 30-day no quit?
I don't know why. It reminds me of when EDP got in trouble, and he's like, man, do you think I would really like some type of girl and she don't even got hair on her, you know, no, that's, do you really think I'd mess with an underage girl? Do you think I would do that? Hey, apparently so. Apparently so. I'm just saying, would a scam operation have 30 days? Hey, I've heard crypto scammers say the same exact shit. Just saying, I'm spinning because I'm sitting in my chair like L from Death Note, so I'm spinning around.
Quibble return policy, okay? Would a scam operation be so readily contactable?
Yes.
Contactable, there you go. are we actually selling land? So again, a lot of the posts and a lot of the criticisms that they were talking about mirror what we're seeing with established titles. So it's not the criticism that we've seen like kick up just because of established titles.
So this has happened before and it's happening again. The question is why? Why are they still doing this shit? We've seen it fail or have people have outrage over it. Why are you still doing it? Is it really for the nature of the trees? I don't know. Is this the good fight? Are you fighting the good fight? I don't know.
This has sort of been mentioned a lot of times in a lot of these similar like souvenir plot selling websites. You know, one of the things that I looked up with Canadians and royalty was like one blog site telling me to go to Canadians can now become a British lord or lady for only $42, okay? And of course, this led me to another website known as Lord Titles, okay?
$40 is a lot for a title that doesn't mean anything and I can't put it on my passport.
Which again, they're also selling lordship and ladyship titles as well too. $80. So here you can see each pack includes $60. 5 square feet of dedicated estate land by Coniston Water within the Lake District National Park, okay? So again, a lot of these are, our title packs are based on the historic English lord, okay, so now we're not even going to the Scottish stuff.
Okay.
English Lord of the Manor title that supports the legal right to use the honorific title Lord or Lady. Again, we do not guarantee honorific title changes in government documents.
There we go. Hey, that's the right way to do it. That is the right. That wasn't on established titles. We do not guarantee honorific titles changes in government documents. We do not display any title such as all passports. This is the perfect way to do it. I like this way more than established titles, which is like, oh, this is a gag gift, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, that doesn't mean shit. For you to sit here and say, we do not guarantee title changes to government documents is a big selling point on the reason why a lot of people wanted this. People wanted to put Lord, Lady, whatever on their passports. People in the military, because you can put on your dog tags whether you're a Christian, a Buddhist, whatever. But recently they acknowledged the Nordic religion. And in Nordic religion, you can grow a beard, which was a big selling point on a lot of people with Scandinavian heritage to put Nordic on their dog tag and put it in their military stuff so they can legally grow a beard while being in the military. In the military, you have to shave. You can't have a beard. You can have a mustache to like right here, but you cannot have a beard in the military unless you're special forces. So for them to put a reason for you to be able to governmentally change yourself, it's a big deal. It's honestly a big deal. So I like how they have it on here. We cannot guarantee a change in government, whatever. Okay, I'm not going to buy it then. Makes sense.
Which do not display any titles such as all passports, and in some jurisdictions, driver's licenses cannot be updated. So again, here they're giving another disclaimer as well too. Honestly, this title puts you in the same level of calling yourself Lord or Lady for anything. You could call yourself Lord of Muta's Crack House, and I'm never going to contest it, okay? I give you that right. Now, of course, it's very similar to other things like naming a star, for instance, where you can buy pieces of stars, like around the sky. They even have like a whole app on this website where you can actually see your star. In some cases, you've got $34 packages, $80 packages.
Oh, got me fucked.
And $79 packages.
$80.
So you can buy an infinite amount of stars.
So what is this for? What is the star one just for fun too? Is this also a gag gift? Are they planting stars whenever you buy one? Are they going to plant a tree every time you buy a star? What's the global good fight for the star one? I want to hear that one.
Around. Now, the reason why this was brought up recently is that currently a lot of people...
God damn, it's nighttime now. Good shit, movie.
...are advertising a lot of these title packs because it's Christmas season, and obviously for a gift, a last-minute gift, this becomes a pretty easy pickup. And obviously you're going to see a lot of these things towards November, December because of Christmas.
Wait, was this nighttime the whole time? What, 31, 33? Oh, no, it's just his monitor was brightest one. 31, 30... That's fine.
I want to go even further. There's an entire separate section of buying lunar real estate too. And before I go into this is something I want to cover for a separate video entirely. Where people literally have like UN loophole documents about owning entire planets. And there's tens of millions of dollars of...
I thought we couldn't own the moon or planets like that. I thought that was territorial. Nobody can own this shit. If there's a loophole, there's a loophole.
Extraterrestrial real estate currently being sold. And of course, there's entire beef between the companies over here, too. They're even giving you warnings about copycat companies.
Oh,
Ladies
damn.
and gentlemen, it's fair to say if you own any deeds to the moon, they're not going to be valid when the US Space Force eventually takes over, okay? I'm just putting it out there.
That's not how that works. We're not just going to take over because we can't just own the moon. At least. Have you seen Space Force on Netflix? Hey, shit happens.
Now, this
What happens on the moon stays on the moon.
video is looking at 40 minutes already, which is way too long, way longer than it actually needed to be. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen,
no. Well, yes and no, right? Because you're doing a deep dive into something super as huge as this. You definitely, I mean, you're fucking making the video. You might as well go to every little detail, right? Every little detail to shut up some type of criticism from somebody that said, oh, well, did you look at the Gracie company? Did you look at the knife company? Did you see who owned it? Did you go into this part? There's always going to be somebody. But even when you do that, someone's still going to point at something like, oh, you forgot about this, though. It's a 36-minute video. Oh, you forgot about this, though. Shut the fuck up, okay? Muta did the best he could, right? And I'm still saying Muta should have did his due diligence, but for him to sit here and make a 36-minute video and to dive into all this shit, all the prep time it took him to do this, I commend you, Muta. I respect earned, plus respect, GTA, whatever the fuck the GTA reference is. You did a great job going into detail and finding this and educating not just me, but everyone else that has any doubts about this. So now when it comes down to this established title shit, it's less of a scam and more of, damn, okay, wait, let me look. What's the definition of a scam? Okay, if Muta can sit and do his due diligence, I can do mine. What is a scam? A fraudulent business scheme, a swindle. Is it fraudulent? Is established titles fraudulent? I want to say, the reason why I want to say no is because they have stated that it is a gag, right? They've stated it, that it's a gag. But I want to say yes, because regardless that you stated it was a gag, you did not disclose the fact, point blank, front and center, that it has no intrinsic value. You cannot put this on a government passport, whatever. Do you technically have the land? You're in the court of established titles when you make this purchase. You are in the court, but only the CEO/leader of the courts can do stuff with the land. This is the only person that can do stuff with the land, according to the Lord of Leons or whatever the hell they were called. According to them, only the guy at the top, the CEO, can do anything with the land. Your one plot of land, her plot of land, his plot of land, those 3 plots of land, only the Lord can do, like the leader of the cult, only the leader can do stuff with the land. Just because you purchased it, you're really just buying it from the court leader, but the court leader is the only one in charge of doing stuff. Even if the court leader say, yeah, you can go ahead and put a sign on there. Sure, you could do it. But say the government didn't like the sign, the one leader of the court will be the one to have to get in trouble for that, which is the reason why the leader of the court probably wouldn't allow you to put a fucking sign on there that says, I hate gays. You know what I'm saying? They won't allow you to do it, even though it's your land. It's the court leader's land, not yours. But since they didn't put that on there, point blank, it makes me feel like, yeah, it's kind of a scam, right? Because it's not at face value. Sure, you can say, well, you shouldn't take it seriously. Oh, this and that. Oh, you should assume that it. No. If you buy something, like I said with the McDonald's reference earlier, if you look at the burger on the McDonald's thing and it doesn't look like the picture, you're going to get upset. And at the same time, you're going to have somebody eating that Panera bread talking about, oh, you shouldn't have bought McDonald's. You should have had Panera bread. That's real food. McDonald's is fake food. Ha ha ha. I'm better than you, you know? So overall, is established titles a scam? Scam is a harsh way of saying it, right? Is it a scam? I'm leaning on yes, man. I'm leaning on yes because it's not, hey, you don't own shit. The court leader technically owns stuff, but I understand why would you I can understand why they don't put that on there because that decentivizes people from purchasing the established title. It makes sense why they don't put it on there, but just because it makes financial sense of why they don't do it doesn't make it right. You see what I'm saying? So is established titles a scam? It's a scam, but honestly, it's a scam, but I can't say with wholeheartedness that it's for a bad deed, right? So a scam to swindle. They're swindling you, definitely, right? They're taking your money. So that's a swindle. They took your money and they don't really give you anything. They give you the idea of getting something. You get the idea of becoming a lord or laird, but you don't really get anything. So since you don't really get anything, yeah, it's a scam. You don't get anything. The plot of land belongs to the court leader. He owns it, or she, whoever the CEO is, they own it. You don't own it. You can, in your mind, own it. Doesn't mean you own it. So yeah, established titles is a scam, but they say that they're using the land that you purchased to keep trees in the area for the environment and whatnot. So yeah, you're getting scammed, but at least it's for a good cause. I mean, Mutahar dug in there and he said, well, this looks like it's a legitimate nonprofit organization planting trees. I'm going to go with whatever Muta said because I am not going to do the due diligence of looking into it. You're not going to do the due diligence either. You're just going to leave a fucking comment. So I'm going to say, yeah, established titles is a scam, but it's a scam for a good cause. Whatever the good cause is. If you're fine with losing $40 or whatever it was, cool. If you don't want to lose $40, don't even look at it. But let's continue.
And I wanted to look at this entire situation to really come down with like now this video is already reaching 40 minutes in length and I want to kind of call it quits where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to really look into it because honestly in the last few days I can't stop reading comments about it and it's blown up to a situation where honestly I should have done my due diligence to begin with.
But who the fuck wants to look through all this stuff? I understand why you don't want to do the due diligence. Really, it's on the management team because they didn't do their due diligence. But like I said in my last video about this shit, the management team doesn't really care. They're just trying to make a quick, not a quick butt, right? Because they work with you, right? But they don't just work with Mutahar. The same company works with like 5 others, maybe 30, 200, 500 different creators, right? So they're not going to look too deeply like Mutahar would do. They don't have a guy to look too deeply into it. They look at the face value. Maybe they call somebody up, this and that. I don't know what the management team does. Maybe they need to make a video about what the fuck they do so we know what they do, right? We don't know. So Mutahar, I don't blame you entirely. I blame you for not doing the due diligence. I have to blame you for not doing the due diligence. But I understand. Why would you want to? If the management team looked over it, then it's probably good. And wholeheartedly, I can say Mutahar fucking tried. He tried. He's not a scam artist. He's not swindling you. Because if he did, he wouldn't make this video. He wouldn't go out of his way to do this shit. Abba and Preach, they don't give a fuck, apparently. I'm saying apparently. They don't give a fuck. Because they haven't made a comment about it. They haven't made a video about it. Philip DeFranco probably doesn't give a shit. He hasn't made a video about it, hasn't made a community response about it. Maybe he'll make one later. Maybe. I don't fucking know. I can't look into the future. But from what I can see, Mutahar was called out. He made a video about it, and then he went and did his due diligence and made another video about it. All I can say is Mutahar did a great fucking job just being a reputable and reliable and honest person, at least from what it looks like. You know, from what I can see from here, it looks like he's an honest guy, and I can't really blame him for this. And it probably fucking sucks to be in the situation he's in, honestly. I don't wish no hate to any of the creators. Like, even though I just mentioned Abba and Preach and Philip DeFranco, that doesn't mean go over there and say, hey, go make a video about established titles. I can say that my fucking self. I want Philip DeFranco to talk about established titles. I left a comment in his latest video, talk about established titles, because I want to hear what he has to say about it, regardless if he wants to or not. It's not up to you, the viewer, to go out there and voice for me. I'm a grown ass man. The other content creators are grown adults. If they want, Casey Neistat, for example, when he talked about the Hillary Clinton situation and he told his fans to go harass people, why didn't Casey Neistat himself go harass other people? That's what he should have did. If he really gave a fuck that bad, he would do it himself. Mutahar, if he didn't give a fuck, why would he make the video? Why would he sit here? It's fucking nighttime. Dude's tired as shit. You can see it in his face. He's fucking tired. He's been reading comments, emails, whatever. And not just from idiots that send death threats over anything, or idiots that complain about everything. Legitimate fans or people that want to know why probably were questioning him. There's a difference. There's a big difference between real criticism and people that are just upset over being upset.
So looking at it right now, obviously this is... Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, this change to gameplay signifies that the camera crashed. So again, we're at the ending anyways. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to what happened with established titles, obviously, you know, at the end of the day, this is a gag gift, and that's pretty much as we use the Wayback Machine to witness.
It is a gag gift, but it was not. The issue is nobody said it was a gag gift. Everyone assumed it's a gag gift. Everyone assumed it, and if you look at the front page, it says Novelty Land. Why doesn't it say, like in the English one, the English title ship, we cannot change your passport, it doesn't give you any government documentation, this and that. This is what you have to have that. At the end of an advertisement, when they say that they give you this pill that talks about, oh, it'll make you happy, but the thing is, you won't be able to pee right. Whenever you pee, like your pee goes like sideways and you get it all over your toilet bowl and on the floor instead of in the toilet. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why they read side effects out. They should put it on the front. You don't get any intrinsic value out of this besides in your mind. They should put that on there, but let's continue.
Was pretty much initially billed as. Now, of course, established titles, I believe, for some viewers, for some people who chose to buy into it, genuinely believed that they had, you know, full ownership of a piece of land out there, and it wasn't just a souvenir. For people to get misled, that's just never okay. Now, at the end of the day, when we witnessed just how the situation blew up, established titles really gained a lot of notoriety and a lot of this kind of press because of how aggressively I believe they pushed with YouTubers and various other people. These companies have existed for over 10, 15 years, and whether you're buying land in Scotland...
That's not a lot of time, honestly, for companies. There's, like, companies like McDonald's, they've been around for, like, 30 plus 30 or 30, less than 50 years. Oh, they've been around a lot longer than 10 years. You know what I'm saying? 10 years for a company is not a long time at all.
Scotland, you're buying stars, you're, you know, adopting a tiger in the middle of like Angola, Zaire, or out of nowhere, you're purchasing plots on the moon, so to speak. At the end of the day, novelty real estate ends up becoming one of the longest running gag gift businesses out there, and it's a multi-million-dollar business.
And at the same time, a lot of people might not know that it's a gag. And that's when people get led astray.
Or an industry, so it seems.
And then they think they've been taken advantage of, and then it blows up, you know.
Now, of course, at the end of the day, when we witness things like established titles, they flew way too close to the sun, and they gained a lot of notoriety from people who really didn't have an idea that this kind of a business even existed.
Exactly.
You know, if it's anything that I learned from this entire video and this entire ordeal, is the amount of laws and the amount of businesses that exist that normally would have flown by my radar had I not actually looked into them. I didn't know that established titles was a business, and there was plenty of other businesses like this where they were just selling novelty lands and planting trees. At the end of the day, it seems like the trees are being planted by the one company that they've partnered with, the actual nonprofits.
That's good.
And for that, that's genuinely better than what I expected, okay? That was one of the big gripes that I had initially when this all blew up. You don't know where the
money's going.
Now, obviously, they do offer full refunds, so if you feel like you want a refund, if you ever put money into it, definitely email them up. They have like up to 60 days from last I read. Definitely.
Why does this old-ass game have ray tracing?
Get it? Definitely endorse. If you feel like you need it, go for it. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the established title saga. I wanted to deep dive into it. I wanted to look into it. And honestly, at the end of all of it, I feel like I came out learning about how Hereditary...
We learned a lot in this 36-minute video. We learned a lot besides just established titles. He dove deep, and we. You got to remember, guys, it's only a couple companies that own a lot of everything. Like Kellogg's, the people that make like Captain Crunch and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know the cereal, but they own Kellogg's owns a lot. Frosted Flakes. They own a lot of cereal, but they own a lot of other products too. And Kellogg's is underneath somebody else, like the Coca Cola company. They own a lot of other shit. It's all. It's not just one company. It's a lot of stuff, guys. Same thing with the music industry. You know OVO by Drake. Well, OVO is under Cash Money Records. Cash Money Records is underneath Young Money Records. Young Money Records is underneath somebody else. So by the time we figure out who does what, it's someone else far away, far, far away that probably don't even know what's going on because they're making so much more money. So you guys got to be careful whenever you read an ad. Like if I get an ad, if I ever get an advertisement, I'm telling you now, I'm only doing advertisements for something that I can hold in my hand and use, like the Ridge wallet or a razor or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna ever do nothing like a title or anything with mental health because you have to do your due diligence with that, regardless of how big the bag is. And I get it. YouTubers need to eat. A lot of this, the YouTube advertisements, you can make a long video like this and then demonetized for something, or somebody claims the video, or this and that, this and that. It's not reliable source of income. YouTube is not. So sponsorships, they have to stay. They have to stay for YouTube as an ecosystem to stay alive. And yeah, it's ridiculous whenever somebody makes a super serious video and they say, "Oh, by the way, this video is sponsored by." It's like, "Oh, we're going to talk about the deep conspiracy of this. Oh, by the way, we're sponsored by some other company that we really didn't look into, and they could be doing evil stuff too, and it could bite us in our ass, but we don't know. We didn't think about that. We were just thinking, hey, they're gonna give us $5,000 to make this video, so let's make the video." It sucks. It honestly sucks, but you can only do so much, man. And you know, not everybody is a swindler or they're corrupt. A lot of people, they're just looking out for themselves, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like Patrick CC, he was on there for established titles. I enjoy Patrick CC's content, and he doesn't seem like a terrible person. But I don't know. I don't know Patrick CC as a person. Maybe he doesn't care about his fan base or anything. He just makes the money, makes the music, makes the videos because it keeps him afloat. It gives him a decent house to live in. But we don't know. I don't know Mutahar. He seems like a cool guy. He went and did this great video. I don't know him though. You don't know him either. I don't know Tamimi. I don't wish any ill will on Tamimi. And I had some Tamimi fanboy talk about, oh, you should complain about someone else, not Tamimi. Oh, Tamimi. You don't know Tamimi. Shut up. Shut up. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. That's why I banned that person from the comments. I don't want to hear your bullshit. I don't. If someone makes a video about me, I'm most likely not going to watch it because I don't care. I make my videos for fun and enjoyment. And I also like learning about stuff. I learned a whole bunch about not just established titles, but the concept of the gag gift and all the other companies behind it, and the ownership and who does what in this. The Lord Lairds of Scotland. I learned about them. I learned a lot through this video, and that's what I like. I like learning random shit. It's the reason why you're on YouTube. You don't just sit here and look at the recommendations for stuff you already watched. Well, some people do, but I just click on a random video. Oh, this video is about Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, this video is about right-wing politics. Oh, this video is about pranks. You know, I watch a whole bunch of random stuff. If you look at my reactions, I react to whatever I want, and I react to a lot of stuff. Some stuff does good, some stuff doesn't. Oh, fucking well. I do it because it's fun. A lot of YouTubers don't have the ability to just make videos for fun or make videos about whatever they want. Not everybody can. Some people have to stick to a niche, and sometimes that niche gets them demonetized, so they take a sponsorship. I don't need a sponsorship, right? If I was ever sponsored, I need to get the product and I need to get the bag. I can say no to the sponsorship. No sponsors to DM me, which is totally fine. I don't mind. But if I do get a sponsorship, I can choose whether I'm gonna take it or not. I don't need to be, oh, a sponsor, I need to take this. And not everybody is like that. Some people have to take it. If they want their YouTube dream to succeed, they have to take the sponsorship. So never get really upset and target people. Sure, they made a mistake taking a sponsorship. The Quartering made a mistake, but he owned up to it, made a video, he owned up to it, said he was sorry. He didn't do his due diligence, which is bad. whenever you take a sponsorship, you need to do your due diligence, especially when other people's money is on the line. Because I look at YouTubers as leaders, not leaders in, oh, they have some type of government, whatever. I see them as you're the voice of other people. So you need to be responsible for with what you say or what you do. If you endorse a product, which is what advertisements is, you're endorsing the product. You're saying, hey, it's good, use it. And if it turns out to be bad, that makes you look bad. And if it makes you look bad, that ruins any chances of gaining a bigger following, respect, or money or other opportunities. And every YouTuber wants at least two of these. At least. They want at least two of these, four things. Some want all four. Some want just three. Most of them want two of them. Some want one, but very few. A lot of them usually want two. So that's all I have to say, man. Great video, Muda. Honestly, this is a great video. I honestly loved this topic, and I loved hearing your take on the topic. I honestly would love to do a video call with Muda and just talk more about this. If he wanted, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to talk about the shit ever again, and I don't blame him, right? But this was honestly amazing. I'm still gonna talk about this until I just don't feel like talking about it anymore. Because now that I have more knowledge and the idea of the established titles and gag gifts in general, I definitely do want to keep looking at these apology videos to see who really cares and who doesn't. And at the same time, I don't really care. If Abba and Preach doesn't care about their fan base, fuck it. It's not my fan base. It is what it is. Just let you know, they don't care about you. They make videos, they have fun. They don't care about you. And it's fine. You know, do you think Michael Jackson cared about every single fan he had? No. It is what it is. So, I don't know. It's your boy Miss. I just like talking about this. I like this concept. I thought it was cool. Like I said, I make videos about what I enjoy, whether you watch it or not. It's fine. This video can have 1 view, 0 views, 10, 1,000 million. Fuck it. Doesn't matter. Maybe I'll read the comments. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll ban some people. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll block some words. Maybe I won't. I don't fucking know. But at the end of the day, it's all in good fun. It's your boy Miss. Come and subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.